brought to you by Tale of the Toaster. Welcome back to Let's Play Inazuma 11 3. In this episode, we're going to be covering off all three versions of Inazuma 11 3. Right now, I have borrowed a copy of Lightning Bolt from the YouTuber Ice Durinks. So this is all his old save file, those guys. We're going to go into the extras menu and look at the collection, because each individual version of Inazuma 11 3 has different items in the gallery. In Lightning Bolt, you get to see concept art of the very first Inazuma 11 game, while in Bomb Blast there is content based on the second game, Firestorm and Blizzard. Oh, look at those! We get to see all the coaches. And then Team Ogre Attacks is the one to actually contain artwork of the game you are playing. That's the one with Inazuma 11 3. But right now, this is the first time I've ever seen this, because I've never beaten Lightning Bolt. I've only beaten Bomb Blast and Team Ogre Attacks. I'll be using my own copies of the game for that. That Aphrodite artwork looks pretty different to the final design. That's interesting. Great. That shows this off. But indeed, so I'm going to be showing off all three. Wow, so this is actually quite fulfilling looking at the concept art for Inazuma 11 1, because clearly they haven't settled on a style yet. I've already looked at the artwork for Bomb Blast and Team Ogre Attacks, and indeed that all looks pretty close to the stuff you're familiar with. But yeah, this is all pretty different. That's interesting. I've seen that one before, that's in the credits. But it's not just characters and moves, you get to see the maps from the game as well. Even Ryman Pool. Like, can you even remember that that was a thing? Because it's not been accessible since the very first game. That's amazing to think they still included the concept art of it within this game. And the shopping area, like, that's something you would never get to see. I apologise if I'm going a little bit fast. Just pause the video if there's anything you really need to see. But even these areas, it's especially nice to see Farm Junior High, because that was another exclusive. Oh no, it was Wild Junior High. Is that there still? Yeah, the Wild Junior High entrance. That was an explorable area in the first Inazuma 11 game, which you couldn't go back to in the first game or in any later games. Huh. Now that's interesting. Unused Nelly's house. I wonder if some design cues from that went into making Ricardo de Rigo's house in Inazuma 11 Go, then that would be interesting. But so apparently Nelly was going to have a house in Inazuma 11 1, and we wouldn't have known that if not for specifically Lightning Bolt. How very interesting indeed. But that is going to be pretty much it for the secret collection in Inazuma 11 1, included in Lightning Bolt. They call it the Football Frontier set. So next up, we're going to move on to Inazuma 11 3 Bomb Blast and show you the exclusive artwork found within that game.
Inazuma 11 3 Bomb Blast!
Yep, that's right, we have switched games, and so now we're going to look at the gallery for Bomb Blast. Well, first of all, I'm going to dive into the Connect menu as well, just to show that if you're wanting to unlock the Dark Angels in Bomb Blast or Lightning Bolt, this is the button that would get you there in the Connect menu, something called Secret, and you would connect to Lightning Bolt, a completed copy, if I had one. So instead we're going to go into the extras, after I actually beat this game again in my own time as my backup save file for the LP. And in the collection we've got the Inazuma 11 2 set, or the Alien Invaders set. And so it's an equal amount of content. Again, it's 40 whole characters with their moves and special moves, and then we're going to get areas as well, which is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing the areas. But for now, this is a reminder of all the teams. Look how different Caleb Stonewall looked in Inazuma 11 2. He does not have that red thunderbolt on his head when he's on the team in this game. Complete change. And once again, we get to shoehorn Janus into the Let's Play. That's good. It's an initial sketch of the Dark Emperors with Evil Steve and the rest of his team, which was actually captained by Nathan. But you know, it was Evil Steve's team at heart. Okay. Aquilina Schiller's got an Ace Attorney pose on the far left. Slam that desk to get your point across. I love especially looking at the coaches, because you just don't get to see them otherwise. Whoa. The US president is just looking completely like a Professor Layton character in his legs. Look at the huge shoes and then non-existent legs. That is extremely level 5. Aston B. Schiller, I wonder what his middle name is meant to be. We even get to see Sean's parents, who are there for just a single sprite in the game each. Oh, and Genesis have the limiters on their chest. I don't think that was even addressed in the game, was it? I know it was in the anime. And then Cote Victoire used the exact same gimmick. These things we definitely saw throughout the Let's Play of the last game. They were just within there. And oh, and this is from the credits. Axel looking absolutely ripped. Look at those muscles. That is so strange. Because he is only a 14-year-old lad, but he looks absolutely jacked there. But that's what they chose to do, and Jude's got his cape in a knot there. So that's gonna be it for the concept art and the characters. Now I really want to see the maps, because looking at the Lightning Bolt version, we got an unused Nellie's house from Inazuma 1. Can we possibly get an unused area here? But even if not, I haven't seen these drawings in years upon years, and it's very nice to see them again. Even areas just like the Pancake House still get included, and for many years I preferred Inazuma 11 2 to the third game, just based on how much I enjoyed looking around the world, which I explored at a good time in my life. I do prefer the third game overall now, but to again see those areas, indeed, we've got something unused. I don't think it's strictly true to call it unused, because I definitely saw Godric Wiles' secret room within one of the animated cutscenes where he detonates the area, but we certainly can't go to it within the game, and so they're going to call it an unused area. So that's fair. Oh, Nathan. Oh, Nathan. We are 2 images into the special moves, and Nathan is already dabbing on those haters. Oh my. If ever you wanted to see a dabbing Nathan Swift, you've seen it now. And so we're getting back into a nice proof that, you know, those images are drawn in Japanese. We've got some Japanese text with them. Eagle Buster, that's a long shot which I would have loved to have given to Archer Hawkins, because it's very fitting for him, and defenders do well to use long shots to clear the ball well away from the goalkeeper, but I just never found it in the end, I don't think. But never mind. We get to close it off with Emperor Penguin number 1. And speaking of penguins, I'm actually going to briefly include something now. Because I beat Bomb Blast, I also unlocked the Clone Penguin shooting move. So, if I were to do the Ogre Premium link, alright, again, so if you need a more detailed video on what the Ogre Premium link actually is, then I made the video before with Ace 2 shoes, but here I'm going to redeem Tiger Storm's manual from Hobbs and Clone Penguin because I gave it to Samford. So let's take those items, and now they belong in my Team Ogre attacks instead of the alternative of just leaving them in Bomb Blast. I'll have a quick look at the players as well. Yeah, unfortunately there were no players that I was able to transfer from Bomb Blast. But never mind. So now what I'm going to show you just before we move into Team Ogre Attacks' gallery is one exclusive scene which I recorded while I was playing through Inazuma 11 Bomb Blast to unlock the gallery, which is not in Lightning Bolt or Team Ogre Attacks. Lightning Bolt has no alternative to this scene whatsoever, while if you're playing Team Ogre Attacks, it's kind of replaced with a scene where Team Ogre Attacks try to get in Hector Helio's head and convince him that Dave Evans doesn't care about him anymore. But I hope you enjoy this Bomb Blast exclusive scene.
Hey Chief, welcome back.
Hector, do you need something?
Chief, you're not going to leave me for Mark, are you? We're going to win the championship together, right? And you're going to stay with me and keep teaching me football, right? I mean, you're my chief.
Hector, do you really think you can become a true footballer like this? Depending on the results of the final, I may retire from football completely. Maybe it's time I head back to Japan and live with my family.
Chief? Retire from football? You know you could never do that. Aren't you being a little cruel? You only said that so Hector would be really motivated to win. Chief, thank you. I understand now. I can't be swayed by emotion. I represent more than just myself now. I must make my country proud. I need to face Mark as a true warrior. It would be an insult to him and football otherwise. Either Mark or me, one of us will make it to the top. Tomorrow, we find out who is truly worthy.
Inazuma 11 3! Team Ogre Attacks!
And now we get to look at pretty much just gonna go out there and say the best collection which you get for completing the game, because this is the one to actually be based on Inazuma 11 3 itself. We've got 3 categories. BGM is kind of different, that's in all 3 versions. But we've got secret illustrations to save for the end, and of course illustrations has the usual 3 categories in there. So again we get 40 different images of the team members, and they're all, you get a good number of the cast members like Sean Frost Archer Hawkins, twice in fact. It's not a complete set because I distinctly remember there being no Jordan Greenway, but they even included Samford, man, so there's certainly a lot to see. I wish I had that image a few months ago when I was doing the Fire Dragon thumbnail. I really could have used that, but instead I just had to make do with anime screenshots. Interesting how Fire Dragon uses Torch Gazelle and Aphrodite in their previous team kits rather than the unbefitting red shirts. But what I particularly like about this Take on the World set is that beyond the story required teams, you also get to see artwork of Brocken Brigade. It's not completed. Most of them don't have their kit on. It makes the goalkeeper look particularly strange, but it's got them, and also Cape Crusaders, a team who's just so hidden. They only battle Little Gigantes in the opening cutscene of the game, and then don't even qualify for the main tournament, and you have to find them in Dave's Ultimate Tournament. That guy in the back is so big. Wow. But the Cape Crusaders, they get fully coloured artwork, and it's hidden within this post-game feature. We get a good look at the coaches as well, who you wouldn't really see otherwise. From left to right, it's the Argentinian coach, the Qatari coach, the American coach, the Korean coach, the English coach, and the Australian coach. So nice to see all of them, and the miscellaneous characters as well. Even the Archer Hawkins bully character that has a fan base of 0 people. And you really wouldn't have noticed that Bash Lancer's uniform is different to everyone else's in that it has an extra notch on his insignia. Which makes sense given the military themes. He's the captain of the team, so he's a higher rank. They even sneak it into the team emblem. But just an extra little thing to be pointed out. Now here we get to look at the maps, and although there's no unused maps like there are in the Lightning Bolt and Bomb Blast unlockables, we get a total of 30 maps, so that's even more than before. Just pushing... For some reason that says Ryukoto International Airport. That hasn't quite been localized correctly. Should just be Leocott, but you know, we still... How can I complain when we're getting all of this bonus artwork that they didn't need to include, but I especially like to see the American camp because that is where we met Pants, the legendary member of our team for the first time. And there's a look at the Italian camp, which we did go to in the LP, but it's not required to do so, and that kind of winds me up. Because they actually spend several episodes there in the anime. Jude actually gets to talk to Ray Dark, and several Italian players get injured there, but they just kind of condense it into 2 little scenes in the Argentinian camp in the game instead. It should have taken place on the Italian camp, but it just doesn't. You do play Team D on the Italian pitch, but that's it. But anyway, so that's it for the maps. We get the special moves as well. And you always kind of forget when opening these up that these are really, really conceptual art in comparison to the official art that we've just been looking at. But it's still interesting, and I hope that you all get a good look at what's to be taken away from it. Double Jaw, that's a shooting move from Cote Victoire that we didn't get to see in the LP, for example. And Pegasus Shot, I don't know if we got to. Kind of annoying how Odin's Sword and Excalibur are both sword-based moves used by the captains. I know that they're oh god, Ambush. Excalibur is obviously a big British piece of history, but there's a lot of British things you could pull from. We've got quite an expansive history, so I did kind of get sick of sword moves in this game, but they're not bad. Shadow Ray looks better there than it does in the game, to be honest, because it keeps messing up my screen recorder and it doesn't quite get captured correctly. And then we finish off with High Voltage and Doom Break. So that's it for the normal illustrations. You can have a look in the BGM. Obviously not going to play all of these, but each section... I love the Fuji Forest theme, yes! We even get Holy Ground... Okinawa, wonderful stuff. We get 20 tracks on each page. Particularly want to look for... Royal Academy Rumble's always going to be one of my favourite tracks in the game. We've got the battle theme from Inazuma 11 1 hidden in there just because you play them. If that track plays, if you play against Steve, Timmy, etc. in a random encounter. I said I wasn't going to play them all, and then what do I go ahead and do? Well, Bitter Struggle, Aim for the Top, that's notable because it was exclusive to Team Ogre Attacks despite being used for the final boss against Cote Victoire. And also the Angels and Demons teams have that music, but they do not have that music in Lightning Bolt and Bomb Blast. They just use music that's already been used before. In fact, can I find it? Yeah, they use Special Tactics, The Dark Conflict, which had already belonged to other people before. But that's a look at the music. Now we're going to look at the secret illustrations. I have already confirmed before that I will be Let's Playing Inazuma 11 Go Light sometime this year is the plan. So if you do not want to see characters that will be appearing in the next game in the series, don't look at this. That was your warning. I'm going to open them up now because we get 9 images of Arian Sherwind, Victor Blade, Ricardo Di Rigo, Gabriel Garcia, Juan Lee, Sam, another character called Sam, grown-up Celia Hills, the Ryman Pitch, and Arian's Flat. So that was a major surprise, and in fact that is the first time I've ever looked at them, because when I first got this game I didn't want those spoilers, just as I gave a spoiler warning. That is not everything in the gallery though. See this option called surprise? If Mark would stop talking over me. If you see this option called surprise, that is going to get its own video, and it's very, very worth watching. Tune in for that.